Ari stopped breathing on a Friday night in Helsinki. The post that lured him there is still online. She described herself as 28 lonely, just getting her eyeliner even on both eyes. She said platonic only. She said she was tired of bothering the same 3 friends with the same 3 complaints. She said she kept getting her heart broken. She was telling the truth about that part. And the part nobody saw coming, the part Ari's mother warned him about in a language he refused to translate, cost him everything. Every week, thousands of people post on Reddit looking for connection. Strangers who feel unseen. People between cities, between chapters, between relationships. They upload a selfie. They type platonic only. They list an age range and weight. Breath. Most get strange messages. Most close the app and move on. But some posts get answered by something older than Reddit. Something that has been moving through human loneliness since before there were apps to meet in, silently, invisibly, until you're already inside it. This is a story about a post that was never supposed to be found. Her name is Marie. And she's still out there. The post went up on a Tuesday. 28-year-old woman. Looking for platonic friendships ages 25 to 30. A selfie because she'd just gotten a cute haircut. Within an hour, over 100 DMs. Most were from men. Most became strange within a few messages. Some asked where she lived, what she slept in, what platonic meant, as if they could talk her out of it. Breath. 2 women messaged, one ghosted, the other had too many rules. Then he messaged. His first message was, "Where are your features from?" She almost ignored it. She'd heard that question her whole life. The polite version of "you don't look like you belong anywhere specific." But he sent a second message before she could close the tab. "I'm sorry. That was badly asked. Your face reminds me of icons from my grandmother's house." She stared at that for a long time. Then she answered. His name was Andreas, but he asked her to call him Ari, Greek by origin. Born in Thessaloniki. Raised partly in Finland. Living in a city whose name felt, she said, like a mouthful of snow. Breath. He was 21. Under the age range she'd posted. He told her that immediately and apologized, so plainly that she felt like she was still in control of the conversation. That was the first warning she missed. They talked for weeks. Voice notes during his walk home, his breath catching in the cold, pictures of food he couldn't quite recreate, snow pressed against his window, a little blue charm hanging above his door. Breath. She started waiting for the voice notes. Then she started needing them. Here's what you should know about Ari. He noticed when she was pretending to be fine. He remembered names she mentioned once. He never filled silence when she took too long to reply. He also talked about strange things as if the belief always belonged to someone else. My mother says. My grandmother used to tell us. People know better than to. She thought it was cultural. But it gets worse. On video calls, Ari asked her once to turn her camera away from the mirror behind her. Why, she asked. I don't like seeing you twice, he said. At 4 a.m. his time, he sent a message. Do you ever wake up hungry? When she joked back, he didn't answer for 6 hours. And when he finally did, he wrote, Forget I asked. I was half asleep. Breath. Every time she said something ordinary, his eyes drifted toward that little blue charm above the door. She told him about Owen, a man she'd met the same way, through a friendship post. They'd talked for months, gone on 2 dates, and then he'd deleted his account and vanished, so completely she'd wondered if she'd imagined him. Breath. Ari went quiet after she told him. Then he said, Did he say goodbye? When she said no, Something in his face changed. Not with pity, with something older. She laughed it off. She shouldn't have. She booked a flight to Helsinki in February. She did the safety things. Her friend made a folder called I've Married Days in Finland. She sent his full name, his address, every screenshot. She booked her own hotel. She planned dinner in public first. She wanted to see the auroras with him. That was the image that decided it, standing somewhere dark and freezing while the sky moved above them, green and purple, Ari beside her, and finally real. Breath. He was at the airport even though they'd agreed he wouldn't be. He stood near arrivals, shifting a paper-wrapped bouquet from hand to hand, like he didn't know what to do with it anymore. He looked taller than she'd expected, thinner, more beautiful in the way real people are beautiful, when you can see how badly they've been sleeping. "You came," he said. The first day was almost perfect. Snow. Coffee too hot to taste. He showed her the harbor, the church his mother liked, the Greek grocery where the owner said something that made Ari flush to his ears. Breath. At dinner, he ordered too much and ate almost none of it. She asked if he was okay. He looked at her mouth before answering. "I'm nervous," he said. Because you're really here." That night, he walked her back to the hotel. At the entrance, he asked her to go inside. He said his mother had told him not to bring her home. She laughed. She went inside. "Here's the part you should sit with." She took that as a red flag about a controlling mother. "You might think the same thing." That's what she wanted you to think. Breath. The next evening, she went to his apartment anyway. His building had yellow light in the stairwell. His apartment smelled like radiator heat and coffee. The blue cabinets were real. The ugly lamp was real. The sweater from all those video calls halls hung over the back of a chair. Breath. He made terrible tea. He held a spoon and forgot what it was for. His hands moved around the kitchen, touching things without using them. The kettle, a mug, the box of tea, like his body had too much feeling in it and nowhere to put it. She kissed him first. And here is where the story stops being about loneliness. His breath caught. Her jaw slipped, not from pain, but from wrongness. She pulled back, and when she looked at him, his face had changed. Not with fear. With recognition. He'd known. On some level, in the way his eyes always drifted toward the exit, in the 4 a.m. message, in the question his mother's voice had put into him, he had known, and he'd loved her anyway. Breath. Her throat widened, her ribs opened in slow, quiet clicks. His hands went to her wrists, then her shoulders, then the side of her neck. The tea glass dropped and broke on the floor. His heel struck the blue cabinet, the one she'd seen behind him for 6 months. His fingers caught her sleeve and held on. Like he was still reaching for the version of her that had walked in with flowers in her hand. And then his hand stopped. When it was over, she was kneeling on his kitchen floor in wool socks, one hand against the cabinet, breathing through her nose. Breath. The radiator knocked in the wall. Snow fell outside the window. A strand of his curly hair was stuck to her lip. He tasted like lemon. And then she remembered Owen. Not everything, just pieces. His nervous laugh, the way he'd looked at her on the second date, so hopeful it embarrassed them both. She'd cried when he disappeared. She'd told people he broke her heart. Breath. She started crying on Ari's kitchen floor, because why do they always have to leave? His phone buzzed on the table, a message from his mother, in Greek, one word she recognized immediately. Lamia. Lamia. She knows what people call girls like her when they have old names for it. Lamia, Mandurugo, Pontianak, Yakshi. Different languages, different centuries, different mothers warning their sons not to answer her post. Breath. The charm above the door had known. His mother had known. And on some level, deep in that crease between his eyebrows that appeared whenever he was translating something too careful to say out loud, Ari had known too. Breath. She opened her own phone after that. Her Reddit post was still up. New messages waiting. Men saying hi, hey, saw your selfie, I'm lonely too, platonic is fine, you have interesting eyes, where are you from, where are your features from? Breath. She knows she should delete it. But she keeps getting her heart broken, and they always disappear before it works out. That post is still live. Somewhere tonight, someone is probably answering it. If this kind of horror is what keeps you up, the kind that lives in screenshots and voice notes, and the moment you realize what you should have noticed 3 months ago, Audible is running a free 30-day trial right now, and the horror catalog there goes deep. There are titles in there that will make tonight's story feel like a warm-up. Link is in the description. Breath. Subscribe if you want a new nightmare delivered every week. And save this one. Pass it to someone you know who still thinks they can trust a stranger from Reddit. Breh. What do you think Marie really is? And more importantly, do you think Owen survived? Leave your theory below.